Hey, you're listening to Profoundish. I'm Alex Duquette, and I'm going to be joined by a very special guest today. A published poet, in fact. Weston Hasty. We're going to be talking about his poetry, why you should be reading it, and then we're going to be continuing our game of Password from last week. We decided to pull from harder words this time, and let me just say, the difficulty curve is steep. All right, let's get going. This is Profoundish. It already feels more profoundish.
The air has suddenly become profoundish and slightly stale.
Slightly stale. Yeah, that should be our like subtitle, like profoundish, slightly stale.
I'm imagining that's if we have as merch one day in the future, like a cereal brand, like it's like. I'm just imagining like cereal, but like instead of the little like I don't know, like the grain pieces or whatever, it's basically like saltine crackers or something.
Ew.
That are out of date.
But it's cereal, so it's saltine crackers and you're pouring milk on them, but they're like stale saltine crackers.
Yes,
but I would try it just to try it. To be honest,
I would try mushy saltine crackers cereal.
Do you like saltines, like just plain? Do you ever eat just plain saltines?
I mean, I don't like typically go out of my way to buy crackers in general, but yeah, if I've got saltine crackers, I like saltine crackers. I'll eat them just straight. What you need to do is saltine crackers with squeezed cheese.
Oh my God, I have
honestly in any cracker with squeezed cheese.
That reminds me of like being a kid in the early 2000s. Man, we got that crap all the time, and we put that on like those Ritz crackers. Oh,
yeah,
so freaking good. And then the only way I would ever eat, what are those? Not Wheat Thins, Triscuits.
I do like Wheat Thins. Oh, Triscuits are really good.
So I didn't like Triscuits as a kid. I thought they were dry, and I didn't like them. And right, exactly. Well, I could take them down with some Cheese Whiz or whatever that stuff's called, the spray cheese. That ended up being really good. Oh,
there's
man.
It's been a while since I've done Wheat Thins. There's some kind of like chicken flavor Wheat Thin. I forget what it is. Hang on, I'm going to Google it. Chicken Wheat Thin. I don't think it's chicken just straight up. It's like chicken something. What am I thinking
Chicken
of?
Parmesan.
I don't remember.
Well,
this is something I found. I am seeing tomato basil Wheat Thins. Those are really good.
Those are delicious. That's my go-to.
There's some flavor of Wheat Thin. I'm imagining maybe this was a fever dream that I thought was like chicken and biscuit or something. Wheat Thin.
There's a chicken and biscuit cracker.
Chicken.
Like I think it's biscuit. Like a standalone. I think it's called like chicken biscuits or something like that.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know. I'm going to continue my sleuthing.
And they're like really cheap. If it's the brand I'm thinking of, hold on, chicken biscuits. I'm looking it up too. Well, nope, chicken biscuits crackers. Let me try that. No, this is content, everybody.
This is content. Yeah, there's a tomato basil, which I think I've had for Wheat Thins. I like Wheat Thins as well. They're just really good.
Wheat Thins.
There's a box that's just called Big. Big.
Just big.
Yeah, it's just Wheat Thins, but they're bigger. But like, It's just Wheat Thins, big, and then the box has like just a singular Wheat Thin on it that's just huge.
Well, that could be misleading. What if you open it up and it's just the size of the box? It's just one big Wheat Thin.
Like, what's that challenge chip? Like the world's like spiciest chip or whatever? Is it taquito? Tacky? No, that's not it. What's that?
I'm not sure.
Spiciest. Come on, everyone on the internet knows exactly what I'm... The Packy one chip challenge.
Oh.
It's this box that has like one giant spicy chip in it. I think it might also come with extra like other chips that aren't the spicy flavor, just so that they're like value for your money. But the idea is that it has this one giant chip in it and it's spicy as heck. I've never had one. I'm imagining that, but Wheat Thins. Big.
Well, I do want to say this. I've been looking up these chicken biscuit crackers, and I found them, and it's called Chicken in a Biscuit. But then next to it, on the image search here, I saw there's somebody on Etsy who's selling Cheez-It, like, oops, did you hear that?
No.
Okay, sorry. There's a
Oh,
weird noise.
I know this chicken and a biscuit. It's biscuits spelled Biskit. I have had these.
Is that what you
They're
were talking
good.
about?
I think so. They're really good. I like them a lot.
So what I was going to say was that there's this person on Etsy who's selling Cheez-It earrings, but they look like Cheez-Its.
Do they look like Cheez-Its or they're made out of Cheez-Its?
No, I think they just look like them because like they're earrings. Is it cheesy to make this? Real cheese, a snack for a snack. So it's like a gift for like a loved one.
Crafted is it the one that's crafted by Joanna?
I don't see where Joanna's at.
For me, this might be just a different seller entirely. The first image is a pair of Cheez-It earrings, and there's a crafted by Joanna, like a little card that they're stuck into.
I don't see that, but it's probably the same kind of idea. But they make me want to eat them.
I do like Cheez-Its.
Oh, I love Cheez-Its. You and I got drunk after a podcast on your show and ate Cheez-Its together and watched Whose Line Is It Anyway?
This is true. Everyone can go to A Hasty Podcast, and it's the second episode that I have Alex on. I forget what the title of that episode was now, but look for the one with Alex in it, the one where we get drunk, me more than him. And then just imagine that after that podcast was over, we opened up a box of Cheez-Its and watched Whose Line Is It Anyway until I know I eventually passed out. I think you went to bed.
Yep. But that's how it went. You worded it correctly. Weston passed out. I went to bed.
Which, to be fair, I passed out sitting on the couch that I was going to be sleeping on anyway. So I kind of passed out in my bed.
You did. I mean, yeah, you were already in. Well, if we're going by technicalities there, then we were in bed together because that was your bed.
We were in couch together.
Okay, fine. I'll say in couch. I'll say that. Hey,
we were in couch.
Hey, speaking of your podcast, I was thinking we could talk a little bit today about something you do. Not the podcast, but it is something you make.
Oh, okay. Speaking of your podcast, let's not talk about it.
Right. Speaking of your podcast, let's not talk about it. No, but I was trying to segue, man. Just you got to hear. My segues can't. I tried. I'm still
It's
so
like a
impressed.
6 out of 8.
I'm still so impressed with one of yours that you did forever ago. It was the news one. One of our first episodes. You did so well.
Yeah.
Now, I am proud of one that you've never once told me you were proud of, so thanks. And it was the band one a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about musical theater, and then I asked if you were in pit band. And then... it started off with you talking about like a musical you watched. Then I asked about pit band, and that transitioned me into music. And you never told me that was a good transition. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
You're gonna have to up your game in terms of averages, right? Like that one was good, but like today, bad. Like you're shooting under average right now. You gotta up your game, then you'll get my attention.
We need to play a mini game at the second half of one of our episodes where we just do that. We have to work on segues. Who has the best segues?
We have a list of things we have to segue the other person to and make it as natural as possible.
Well, that's actually kind of a fun idea. We should talk about that. But
we'll workshop it.
We will workshop it. But until then, so the reason why I thought about the podcast is because I'm on a little website of yours called hastilymadedecision.com.
Oh God, I haven't posted there in a little bit. I'm behind. There's a lot there. Everyone that's listening, there's a lot there. Check it out. There's a lot there to read, but I haven't posted in a little while.
There is a lot.
I'm a little dry on my poetry lately.
Well, and that's what I would actually like to talk to you about today is your poetry. I was thinking about this. Your poetry's been kind of sticking with me lately. When you've been posting them to like Instagram and stuff, I always enjoy looking at them, and some of them have really kind of, like I've just thought about them, and so I thought I just kind of want to talk to you about this. You've asked me about my songwriting, and I just realized I haven't asked you really about your poetry writing. Now, according to at least on the website here, you've been basically posting at least a couple, sometimes way more, a month since June 2017. That's really impressive.
I've had it for a while.
I also noticed that I know like you do like haiku / senryu, which I want to get into too. But earlier on, because I used to go here a long time ago too and look at these. You did like full on like this kind of more traditional poems.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of transitioned. But I guess I'm kind of bouncing around. But let's start at the beginning. What got you into to writing poetry? Do you kind of remember how that all started?
I don't remember how it exactly started, but that's because it started as early as me being like a young child, like a kid. So I don't remember what started me on writing poems or why I had a specific interest in that. I just kind of did. I think part of it is I always had a lot of different interests growing up, and I did read a lot for a kid. God, I feel like I definitely read more as a kid than I do now as an adult. But I did enjoy reading, and I read a lot as a kid. And I would often write like little short stories and stuff too about Lord knows whatever it was as a kid. I think I remember writing a story about a fish once while I was camping, because there was like this amphitheater where like I like read my little story to, I think it was mostly just family or something like that or whatever. But there was like they had some kind of event there. There was like a nature storytelling event thingy or whatever, and I kind of like pretended to do that myself. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I like to write stuff, and the thing where that kind of transitioned to writing poetry is whenever I started learning about poems for the first time, because I liked reading stuff and I did like writing stuff. Of course, that led to me trying to write some poems as well. And one of my earliest memories of being really excited about writing poetry was this anthology of poems that you could submit to, and our school did it. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was called Celebration.
I know what you're talking about. It was like
Celebration of Young Poets, and then it'd be like 2003 to 2004 edition or whatever. And I submitted to that a couple of times. I forget how many times I published to them. It was 2 or 3 times. I had the books that because obviously we bought the books because I was in them. I think they're at my parents' house on my bookshelf, probably in my room.
I would love to look at those. I would love, really quick, I would love to look at that because I'm published in one of them. And I think my mom has that too, but it'd be so cool to go just look through that and see like any other classmates we might have had that posted or, were published in it and stuff. That'd be fun to look through. Anyway, go on.
I still use that as like, I am technically a published poet.
Yeah, you are. Absolutely you are.
So me and many other people, but I still use that, like, which technically, like you mentioned my website, I'm a published poet in my own right. I publish my own poems to my own website, and that is technically publishing your poems. But as far as someone else publishing my work, I still use that example as technically I'm a published poet.
Right. There's something about the tangibility of it. It's in a book. It's on a piece of paper, yeah.
Which is really exciting and something I've kicked around the idea of doing myself for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Publishing a book of poems.
Well, maybe you shouldn't just think about it, and you should do it.
Yep, I've got a few starts. I've got a few starts to it. It's not in a place of finishment yet.
Well, here's what I will say. I mean, on hastilymadedecision.com alone, you've got, so many on here. And of all kinds of different, like, the topics are completely different, too, which is interesting. Like, I know...
Right.
But I like that. Some of them, I'm going to specifically talk about the haiku senryu stuff, because that's what I've seen the most of. But what I love is that some of them are kind of just very blunt and right in your face about kind of what you're trying to say. And then, some others are a little more, cryptic in what it could mean or anything. But at the same time, it's hastily, like at the very beginning, I wanted to say this because I'm on your main page here. You literally say these poems are written hastily, of course, with little forethought. Don't think, feel. So you're making me think with some of these, but you're telling me just to don't think, just feel.
Yeah.
Was there ironically, a lot of thought put into that description there? Like that whole little
I forget
part?
what on my homepage, I forget what I originally had written there, but at one point I changed it. And the thinking behind that is I remember, and I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but the essence of it is that I remember being in an argument of some kind. This was as a class, we were discussing some kind of poem in one of my classes in college. and I was kind of like in an argument in the sense that I was kind of like on the offense on a different side, a different point of view of this work than most of everybody else. And the professor, whether they believed what they were saying or they were doing devil's advocate, I don't really remember, but like I was kind of angling at the professor a little bit. And basically we were talking about the work and how much like the piece, the poem, and how much work must have gone into it and thinking and forethought or whatever. And I remember thinking I had submitted this poem previously, and I'm like, well, I got, from the class, we all discussed my poem I wrote, and it had a lot of accolades, and everyone's got their own critiques or whatever, but generally it was all well received. What if I had told you I had written it an hour before class? Does that change your opinion of my piece? And that was a serious question, because one of the breakdowns of it is like, oh, this this references that, and this alludes to that, and this is like analogous or synonymous. Like, I don't remember which piece. I wish I could remember what piece we were talking about. But that was the crux of my argument. It's like, well, what if you knew? I'm not saying I did or didn't, but what if you knew I had written that just before class? Does that devalue the poem? And so that was the argument I posed then, and I forget how that conversation went, but that was my approach to this website. Yeah, that was my approach to this website as well, is that the idea was, and some poems take longer than others, but in general, like this is like each and everything on the website is a one sit down, just write it, post it. It's not that it, post whatever you come up with, or don't be satisfied with it, just, post a rough draft. It's not just post a rough draft, but the idea is that not a single one of these poems took more than a day to write.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at the core of it, I'm not trying to say anything overly complicated. I'm trying to get to whatever I'm feeling in that moment, or whatever feeling I'm trying to express in that moment. But if I wait longer than that moment will be gone. So I'm trying to capture it while it's there. And sometimes that means you have to be a little hasty about it. And then I get it out there.
Sure.
And some like you said, some of them are a little bit more blunt, a little bit more head on, where it's almost like in my headspace when I'm writing it, it's like a more aggressive style. Like, this is a point I'm trying to make directly, and I want the reader to sort of pick up on that and feel specifically this thing. And then other times I kind of play around beat around the bush a little bit more, and I want the reader to try to think about what it is that poem's supposed to mean. And some of them are just silly, but well,
and that's the beauty of really all kinds of creative writing, but in this case, like poetry, like, for some of those ones that are a little more, once again, like you said, kind of beat around the bush, really, you can have your meaning and I can find mine. You might have your own meaning from it, at least from that time when you wrote it, but I could pull something totally different from it, and that is what it is. That's fine. That's art. Which I think is really cool. But I really don't know if I like the more blunt ones or the less blunt ones, because I like them both. But I think it depends on the mood that I'm in too, to be honest with you.
Right.
Because when the ones that where you're a little bit more like just kind of on the nose with stuff, it does, at least for me as a reader, it takes me away from what I'm feeling, and I'm thinking, so this is where he's at with this, even if it was just for that moment. Right. Like I'm kind of thinking about you for a second there, which once again, that could be just me because I know you. That very well could just be a very specific topic that somebody understands, and they're not thinking about you. But I was going to ask you. So you usually, at least these days, you're mainly, I think, sticking to kind of haiku, senryu like style. Is that correct? I haven't seen anything of late. At least that's a long. That became
a bit of a pattern for me. It's also it's easier to write because it's a very familiar structure. So it's easier in that sense. I'm not trying to come up with anything new, basically. Like, I know the structure. It comes with its own limitations that makes it challenging in its own way. But the structure is the same. So it's easier in that way. And I can kind of sit down. I'm like, I feel like writing a little haiku. Like, I literally will sit down, like, I don't want to write a poem. I feel like writing a little haiku or a little senryu. That's just what I feel like I want to write. Although, admittedly, I do feel like that does... Since I've done so many of that specifically, it does kind of like pigeonhole me in this corner of like, that's all I do. And it's all I've been doing lately, but it's certainly not all I'm capable of. I've actually got this one poem that I wrote and I haven't posted that's kicking around in my drafts right now that I like, but I just hadn't posted it yet because I was writing it for me at the time. And I don't know if I'm going to post it to the website yet or if I'm going to keep that for something else, but it's not a haiku. And it's just one of those rare occasions where it's like, oh, I feel like writing not a haiku. I feel like writing a longer form poem. And so I've done that, but I didn't ever post it. But I'm kind of kicking around my drafts right now, and I kind of want to do more with it.
Well, speaking of that, speaking of like your, long form, kind of sitting in your drafts, I'm curious about your process. I know maybe it could be a very quick thing, obviously, for like a haiku or something, but for something more long form, you say it's in your draft. So is this typed up? Do you write it? Is there a particular time of the day that you like to, or night that you like to do that? Or is it just kind of when it hits you? Do you have like a writing process for longer form stuff?
For writing in general, it's usually done for the poems. It's usually done on my phone wherever it strikes me that I have the time to write it. I can do it on break while I'm at work. If I've got an idea that I want to put out while I'm at work doing my work things or whatever. If I'm, I like to swing by a bar every now and again after work or whatever. I'll grab a drink and I'll be like, I got this idea, and I'll just literally be on my phone and having a beer or whatever and write up a poem. It's not super common for me to write them once I get home. Because once I get home, there's so many more other things that distract me. I wish I could sit down at my computer and just smash out some poems or work on some stuff. But when I'm sat down in front of my computer, there's so many other things that I want to work on that I end up getting distracted by other things. So weirdly enough, I kind of just grab spare minutes here and there throughout my day instead of like sitting down and really like hammering away at a keyboard. So it's usually anywhere I can reach my phone.
I mean, that's hence hastily made decision. Hastily made poetry.
It's like, there's just kind of like, it's hastily made. I sat down, I've got this idea, I've got a few words, bam, done.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm curious. I'm hoping to see that poem you're talking about. I wanted to touch on this too, going back to Haiku Senryu for a second. I did a little research, just brief, about for listeners who may not know the difference. I think a lot of us know what a haiku is, but if I can be completely honest, I don't think if I ever learned about Senryu in school, it's escaped me since. But you've always kind of used that word alongside haiku, and I know what I know about them, and I'm sure you'll know more. But I know that they're, at least in most cases, the same in structure. But topic matter is kind of defining, right?
Correct.
Is that, I don't know really more besides that, though.
To be very general, obviously, for anyone listening, haiku and senryu, they're Japanese art forms, and they take the form of poetry. They're Japanese in origin, and there's a lot of history behind where that structure came from, all of that. Glossing over that entirely, I'm not going to sit down and do a Japanese history lesson. Also, I don't remember it super well. I'm going to get it wrong anyway. But in general, in the West, we recognize haiku as that three-lined syllable-based structure. So typically 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. Although in poetry, no hard and fast rule has to be obeyed. And there's lots of haiku that do not obey 5-7-5. They do their own thing, and that's totally fine, and they're still haiku. But in general, when you first learn about haiku, maybe in elementary or middle school or something, when you first learn, you're like, oh, it's that 5-7-5 syllable, 3 lines, and that's a haiku. And that's usually where it stops. There are a few other elements to haiku that some people learn and some people don't. One of them is, and there's Japanese words for this, and I don't remember what they are, but usually there's a turn in a haiku. So the idea is, if you've got 3 lines, it's very common to have 2 lines building up a premise, but then the third line is the turn, where it takes that premise and goes in a different direction. And that can be something completely unexpected, like complete left turn, or that can be like, I'm leading you up to this one idea, and then, oh, here's another one. Consider that in light of what I've just led you up to. And you have to do all this in 3 lines, so it can be really fun to work with.
Yeah, no kidding.
Haiku,
fun challenge.
Right. Haiku is nature-based. So the idea, because one of the typically required elements in a haiku is that you have a season word. There's a Japanese word for this, but basically in English, there's a season word. So there has to be some clue about what season you're talking about. Or is it winter? Is it spring? Etc. And you can do that by having a clue-in word about like changing leaves or something. Like, oh, it must be fall because the leaves are changing color. There has to be some element that tells you what season we're in. Haiku are very nature-based, and you can use those natural elements to either just express nature, express beauty. You can express life through nature, but it's nature-based, is haiku. Senryu arose out of a need for creating real-life observations, but in this same haiku form. So it takes the same structure, but instead of talking about nature and beauty and those kinds of elements, it takes real life scenarios. So what I typically write about is senryu, because I usually write about very common topics are like heartbreak or love and romance.
Right, like human nature, if you will.
Yeah. Human nature, as it were. And sometimes you can write senryu that's very political as well, which kind of goes into the history of writing haiku and senryu, because both of them are so short and often ephemeral. Like a haiku can kind of come and go or whatever. These things are often not titled. And back in the day, senryu could be used as political dialogue hidden in art, but then it's not titled or necessarily accredited to anyone, so they were easily shareable. So that's a whole history lesson there. But senryu just doesn't deal with nature. It deals with more life issues or politics or whatever that you can think of, just not nature, whereas haiku does. Since I usually write senryu, I always list it as senryu, but people in the West usually aren't familiar with what that is. So I just say haiku. Yeah. You all know what a haiku looks like. It's that, but
it's all about those key words.
Yeah. I do write haiku from time to time. I do write nature-based haiku from time to time. I do it, but...
Well, I want to read this particular one here. I was just kind of scrolling through your top few, and I remember when you posted this, because you put it on Instagram, too. This is in April of 2023. And I think this is a good example of what you were saying with, like, the turn at the end.
Yeah.
So I used to take it black, but now I take my coffee with a splash of sin.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one. I remember, as soon as I saw this one again, I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this one.
I remember being really happy with that line. I remember just that was the line that came to my mind that made me write that poem.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that was what came. It was the splash of sin, and I'm like, oh, I love it, and I turned it into that little.
Oh, interesting. So you wrote around that. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the idea of, I like to challenge myself in my own creative ways. I really do like that idea of, sometimes you might really have something to say, and you kind of go by the general confines of the 575.
Right.
I think that's awesome. I was going to say, we're probably going to move on in just a second to our next segment, but
sure.
If for anyone who's maybe unfamiliar with your poetry, is there a place where you would have them start? Like, is there any particular one that you think really represents Weston Hasty and his writing style? I know you've written a lot.
Start from June 2017 and work your way up the list. A
lot
of them
to go
are really
through.
Short. There's a lot to see, and you'll blaze through it. A specific one. There's one that this is a bad recommendation for what I do now, because it's not like anything I do now. But there's one that I really like. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Well, I think it's one of my early ones. Honestly, there's this one about... Oh, gosh, some of these old ones I haven't seen in a long time. You know what? No, I've got no single poem I could point you to. You've got two options. Start from the beginning and work your way backwards, or start from the most recent and work your way back to the beginning. Because, honestly, it's changed so much, well, especially since 2017. But there'll be something. My goal, my aim, is that if one poem sticks out to you of the first, 10 that you read, my mission is accomplished.
Sure.
You know?
Definitely give them a read at hastilymadedecision.com. I've gone through actually quite a few of the first few. I remember the elves. Little Elves Grow. That's like, I think that was your second one. Got Away in the Wind. I read that one too. I read a few of those early ones, and I really liked them. So you guys should definitely give them a read. I can see that if you're on, people like it. So is this like WordPress or something? What is this?
Yeah,
hosted on?
I use WordPress to host the website. So if you have a WordPress account, you can leave likes and comments and stuff like that as well. So that's why you'll see like 6 bloggers like this. That's because other people with WordPress accounts have liked it. But you can also tweet it, share it. All the typical options are available there. If you leave a comment, I think anyone can leave a comment, but it gets held for review. So I'll see it, but it might not show up on the actual website for a bit.
Well, Weston, it was fun talking poetry with you. I just had an interview with a published poet. You hear that, guys? A published poet. It counts. It really does.
Hopefully in the sometime future. I can't say near future. That would be a little disingenuous. But hopefully in the sometime future, a rightfully self-published book. That is absolutely a goal, and I'm behind on it, but it's one that I want to make happen.
You should stick to it. I know you will, and I will be first in line to buy it, and you better sign it.
Oh, heck yeah, I'll sign it.
Heck yeah, dude!
Well, hey,
and then
I'll sign anything anyone walks up and asks me to sign.
I don't care what it is. You want me to sign it? I'll sign it. Sign my baby.
It's just like a baby doll. It's like, okay, weird.
That's even weirder.
It's like, okay.
Well, listen, it's about time to listen to some ads, but I do want to give a little teaser. Now, this is a completely original idea. I thought since we're talking about poetry and words, we could continue our game of password.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I loved it, and I felt like we kind of got into that segment a little later last time, so I thought, you know what, let's do one more time, have it maybe another round or two.
Yeah,
so more password.
Password.
Okay, we'll be back. Profoundish is brought to you in part by The Two-Piece Podcast, a show where my significant other and I compare and contrast our top 5 lists on a variety of topics. Not only is it fun, but we also provide facts and trivia about our topics. Come laugh, learn, and listen to The Two-Piece Podcast on your preferred platform of choice.
Profoundish is brought to you in part by hastilymadedecision.com. Get your poetry fix from my poetry blog featuring haiku, senryu, freeform stuff, and more. Again, that's hastilymadedecision.com for your poetry fix.
Welcome back. Thank you for listening to our advertisements.
Welcome back.
The advertisement you just
You're
heard
welcome.
was probably Weston talking about his poetry as an extra plug. So make sure you go do that. But
That makes sense.
But for now,
hastilymadedecision.com.
hastilymadedecision.net. I'm just kidding. .com.
.com.
Don't want to trick you. Could you imagine, like,
I don't.
everyone's going there,
I don't
but
do
nobody
anything
goes to
.net.
.com? Is hastily
Right.
made?
I wonder if that's a thing. I'm gonna go look. Last I
look.
knew when I got hastilymadedecision.com, I don't think hastilymadedecision.net was a thing. But Lord knows this site can't be reached, so no one owns that one yet, which is fine.
Well,
I'm not gonna go buy it.
I
only need the one. I only need the one.
you only need the one. This is actually kind of hilarious. So I just typed in alexduquette.com because that domain is not owned by anybody, but I picked .net because it had a ring to it, alexduquette.net. But
Yeah, I like it.
It is funny though because I'm on this page and it says you can purchase it through GoDaddy if you want the domain. It says, or you can tour Alex, or go on an Alex tour. You can tell this is just like a dynamic page where it just changes with whatever the whatever the title of the domain is. That's funny. Go tour Alex.
Mine says alexduquette.com is parked free, courtesy of GoDaddy.com.
Do you see the
I don't know
tour
what
Alex?
is parked free means, but no. There's an advertisement for related searches, and it's no, maybe that's what you're looking at. El Capitan, Alex Tour, or Tour Alex.
Yep.
Okay, I see it now.
Oh, I guess that says related searches. Is that just an ad?
This is related searches. I thought it was an ad, but whenever I see that like thin gray box, you know what I'm talking about,
Yep.
on a web page, I just assume it's an ad, and my eyes glaze over, and I just don't look at it.
Right. It makes you wonder how so many people just don't. So many people click on them. Ads are there because they work. Like, that's why they're there.
It's amazing which ones do work, too, because there's a reason why like mobile ads are like the worst offenders on a lot of social media sites. It's like, who the heck is clicking on this?
Right.
Stop it. I want to get the spray bottle.
Hey, Weston, do me a favor. Could you describe the password game? Because you are much better at describing games than me. We all know our strengths. Please, I don't want to stumble, please.
All right, so Password, we played this last episode, so if you haven't watched last episode, definitely give that a listen. If you haven't watched it, give it a listen. Now, if you haven't listened to last episode, definitely do that after this. But we're playing Password, and we're using a random word generator to help us because we're playing 2 players instead of teams. And so the idea is one player will have a randomly generated word, and they have to use only 1-word clues to try to get the other player to guess what their original word is. So, like, say my word is but, I can look to Alex, and my first clue might be Heine, and he can try to guess, oh, but. Couple of caveats. You can't use rhyming words, so if my word's but, I can't look at Alex and say smut. That's just rhyming. It's unrelated. You're also not allowed to use any clues that would somehow give away like the first letter of the word, but that's very rare. We're just not going to do that. And that's it. We're going to play honest in the sense that like whoever's got the most points wins, but we are actually trying to give good clues because that's just fun.
Right. It is. It's fun to play fair.
Yeah. It's just the 2 of us. There's nothing on the line.
Just the 2 of us. That's a good song.
Just the 2 of us.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Who went first last time? I think it was me because I was hosting and like I knew the rules. I'll let you go first this time. Because you know what's funny? I would say like the winner can go first or the loser can go first, but actually, spoiler for last episode if you haven't listened to it yet, we tied.
Yeah, we did. We did tie.
So consider this episode 2. We got to break the tie.
All right. I guess I'll start here.
Let's do it.
All right, Weston. Let me. So we also picked, I don't know if you said this, I might have missed it, I might have zoned out for a second, but we did pick the hard category. Last time we did medium words. This time we're doing hard words.
So we're upping our difficulty on the words here.
All right. Here's your first word. Your clue, I mean not the word, but the clue. I'm going to say... Okay, you know what? I'm going to say... I know that song gets stuck in your head. I'm going to say corn.
Corn. I'm thinking... well, now I'm thinking, what's the movie... Grown Ups, I think? Maze. Amazing. Maze.
That was a funny movie.
Okay. So for corn, it could be like, the word could be like field, if he's trying to get me to go like cornfield. It could be a synonym with corn, kind of like maize. It could just be vegetable, or it could be farm. I'm going to go with my gut, though, for the first one. I just think it's going to be so rare to get this on the first try. I'm going to go with field.
Incorrect.
Okay.
All right.
That's where my first gut instinct went. It's like cornfield.
Well, you'll have to listen to clue number 2 here.
I want it.
Clue number 2 is farm.
Okay. So I know it can't be like farmer because farm is in farmer. Corn farm. maybe this is a bigger topic. Because I was thinking, like if he said another plant of some kind, like, corn, beans, I'd be like, oh, farm or vegetable. But no, the fact that he went from corn to farm, that tells me it's not going to be something like tractor, probably. Tractor might be a clue, but it's not going to be tractor. I'm thinking it's agriculture.
Incorrect. I like the way you're thinking, though.
5 head.
I like the way you're thinking, though.
Okay.
You're kind of going all over the place, like not in a bad way.
Bit.
Okay. Clue number 3.
Clue number 3.
I'm going to say sell.
Sell.
Mm-hmm.
Sell. Got corn, farm, sell.
Am I allowed to
sell?
Am I allowed to spell
you...
sell?
I just had that revelation. Revelation because in my brain I was thinking CELL, like in a jail cell or like a cell of a
right.
a creature. I'm guessing you're thinking SELL,
yes.
Cell. Which is tricky because normally you can't give me the spelling. Normally it's like you get a 1-word clue and that's all you get.
Right.
But I just had that revelation just as you were saying that. It's like, oh, that's right. So if you're trying to sell,
this is tough.
Corn farm, it can't be. It could be like market, maybe, because I'm thinking it's not going to be specifically farmers market because you got the word farm in it. But maybe that's what I'm thinking. So it could be something like market. It could be something like vendor or stall. It could be something like. It could also be something like if you're trying to sell the land, it could literally be like I think. Well, see, I also feel like if it were market, the first thing you would have said, if you're going to go with the farm route, would have been like, the first clue would have been farmer, for like farmer's market. But the fact that your first clue was corn has got me all over the place. You know what? I don't have another guess, so I'm going to go with market. I'm going to go market.
Incorrect, friend.
It's my best guess. Wow, the hard category is much harder.
It is, because you definitely know this word. I
believe that.
Let me see.
I'm a poet. I know a lot of words.
He's a poet? I thought you were going to rhyme there. You got me. I'm trying to think of the next clue. I've been thinking this whole time, and I still can't think of another good one that would put you in the right.
Yeah, you keep thinking about that. For everyone at home, the way this works is that if you got it on the first clue, you get 10 points. And for each additional clue, the number of points you earn decreases by 1. So we're working on our 4th clue, so this will only be worth 7 points.
I wonder how the score is going to go at the end on this one. Okay. It's going to sound like I'm bouncing around, but you'll know why at one point. I'm going to say
eventually.
I'm going to say vegetable. Let's bring it back in.
Especially with the fact that you started with corn. We were nailing these on just 1 or 2 clues last time. Oh, I feel the pressure. The pressure's on. Corn, vegetable, farm, selling Is this going to be fruit stand or vegetable stand? I think all the words have to be 1 word though. I think.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be vegetable stand. Well, you can't be vegetable stand. You said vegetable. Vegetable. And surely I'm not, unless this is just literally the word I'm not a farmer. I might have the measurements wrong, but unless the word itself is just literally bushel, I'm gonna go with bushel.
That's your final guess? For this round?
I think it is. Bushel.
It is not bushel.
No! I was waiting for the ding, ding, ding.
There's no ding, ding, ding. I guess we're going to keep going.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to run out of points here before too long. Oh, this is bad. Okay, this is hard.
Would you like a vague hint?
That's what the clue words are for.
You don't want an extra one? What if I gave you a
It's a
hint and then it took 1 point away?
Nope, give me another word.
Okay. I was curious if you were going to accept that or not.
I accept nothing. I accept no
Help?
let's do it.
Okay. Let's do it. All right.
Words, they fail me.
Let's see. Let's go.
Corn vegetable farm sell.
Mm-hmm.
Selling vegetables, sweet corn festival.
Okay. I'm
Farm
gonna say, here's your next clue.
Okay.
Generic.
Generic.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Generic. Generic what? Generic what?
Generic what?
Is it? No, I'm like, is it just gonna be like food or plants? Generic.
Yep.
Oh, but what if? Okay, I'm gonna be livid if the word is food. But what if it's produce?
Is that your guess?
Because you sell produce, corn and vegetables are produce. I think, if I'm not stupid, fruit. I don't think produce is just fruits. I think it's anything, right? Farmer isn't produce, but they produce corn and food and stuff. Produce. I'm gonna go with produce.
Remember, the word was farm. Remember that.
You make produce on a farm.
I just wanted to make sure you do the,
Farms produce corn.
All right. So your guess is produce.
Produce.
Incorrect.
I'm gonna be so mad if it's just food. If it's just food, like if it was food, you could have been like enchilada, burrito.
There's a method to my clues.
I know there has to be.
But man, I'm running out of ways to to say this. Okay. I'm gonna say, oh my gosh, this is getting hard for me now.
Good. It needs to be.
Good, you deserve it.
Me struggling.
Okay, let's go.
This whole part of this episode's gonna be this one word.
I know. That's what I was just thinking. We might only be able to get one word each this time around. Okay, I have another one. Harvest.
Okay. Harvest. Wait, like you harvest corn, unless it's like I'm thinking like season, like harvest season, but like with between corn, farm, produce, generic. Also, I'm gonna be mad if it's tractor, since I said tractor earlier. Oh, I'm gonna be livid if it is food or tractor. You did say farm. You said vegetable and corn. You said generic.
Yep.
What else did you say? What are my clues?
I said corn. I said farm.
Corn.
I said sell. Generic.
Sell, that's right.
I think we've mentioned them all now.
Okay. I don't think it's tractor with the word sell in it, though. Right? Right? Like tractor, plow, combine. You can sell any of those things, but and they all belong on a farm.
Yep.
But corn was the first. Corn was the first thing, though.
Uh-huh.
Food.
Yes, it was.
Is it food?
Is that your guess?
Food.
Incorrect.
Okay, I was still just.
At least it's not
you
food.
Said generic.
I am losing. How many are we at here? I did lose count of. Are we at 3 left?
What clues? You said corn. You said vegetable. You said farm. You said generic. You said
sell.
Sell.
I said
you
harvest.
Said harvest. That's 6 clues. If that was all of them, then we're almost done.
So yeah,
left.
So I guess we got 4 left.
Yeah.
All right. Goodness gracious, I don't know what else to say anymore.
Is it? Oh God, is it obvious?
It is you're gonna kick yourself in the pants as soon as you hear it. There's a reason why I started with corn, and there's a reason.
There has to be.
And there's
But
a
what
reason.
else would it be?
There's a reason why I said generic as well. I'm going to tell you.
Is there a more generic version of corn? Is it? I swear, if it's actually maize.
I mean, I'm not saying anything
Wouldn't
like that,
corn
but
be the more generic version of maize?
no. Listen, you are on the right track with the thinking of generic version of corn. You're on the right track with that way of thinking.
What's the more generic version of corn? Corn is corn.
But it can be referred to. I've said way too much. I'm done.
Is it maize?
Is that your guess?
Yeah, you didn't even give me another clue. Just minus a point. Is it maize?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm not crazy. What else is corn referred to as?
Also,
what else is corn? Corn is corn.
like,
Is it feed?
well, I also
like
said
livestock feed.
I just realized we forgot this one. I also said vegetable too.
You did say vegetable. You did.
Oh man, this is tough, man. You're gonna kick yourself in the ass.
I'm about prepared to just take 0 points on this.
Man, you're fighting this to the bitter end, though, aren't you?
I'm trying. Do you have any other clue words for me?
If I can be honest, I'm struggling to come up with any more.
Is it feed?
It is not feed. No.
Is it... What is more generic than corn?
Or vegetables on a farm.
Sprout?
Doesn't have to be corn. It can be vegetables on a farm. Generic way
Beans?
of saying it.
Crop.
Come on. Yes. That's
Oh my god.
it. It's crops. Yep.
Oh my freaking god. Can I have a single point for that?
I'm going to give you a point
Because I didn't have any more clue words. I was just shouting words.
Yeah, but you did say it without me leading you straight to it. So you got there.
Oh my god, that was difficult.
Simple
I'm not
word.
a farmer either.
Well, yeah, but like, I know, but I mean, it's crops. Well, see, and I was thinking,
I'll tell you what.
What?
I'll tell you what. I just rolled for what my word for you is going to be, and it's like impossible. So, do I get 1 point or 0?
You get 1 point.
Okay, I've got 1 point. All right, we got to try to get through, if possible, 2 rounds here. Okay, I've got my word for you. This is impossible. You're not going to get it. My first clue.
Oh my god.
Broke.
Poverty.
No. Second clue. Expensive.
What?
Expensive.
You just said broke. Okay, you said expensive.
Correct.
Okay. Oh my god, where do you go with this?
I don't know.
Broke
This
and then
is impossible.
and then expensive.
Yes.
Is it like a common word though? Like, do I know the word? It's just really hard to
you
get
know the
there. Like
word.
crop. Okay.
Yeah.
Broke and then expensive. I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna get specific because it sounds like it's gonna be difficult. I'm gonna say yacht.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. I just for giggles, I Googled my word to make sure that I'm not just ridiculous. It's not a complicated word. I was just like, is there any other possible meaning for this? Okay.
Right. I see what you mean.
My third clue will be pay.
Okay. So this is more about this is more along the lines of like not the item but making a purchase that you can't afford or something. So we got broke, expensive, and pay. This could be like this almost sounds like a debt collector situation, like collections or something. I'm gonna say, I know it's not it because you're trying to find another meaning for it, but I'm gonna say collections.
Don't think about that. That was just one of my.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check every avenue. Don't think about that too hard.
Okay. Well, my word is still collections.
No.
Okay. Broke,
I
expensive,
wonder,
pay.
can I use, this is a weird, do you
Wait.
think it's in the rules? It's one word, but can I use a contraction as a clue?
I don't know the rules. I don't see why
I didn't
not.
say anything about contractions. It's just one of those goofy things where it's like, you're combining two words technically, but I want my fourth clue to be can't.
Can't. Okay. I mean, I don't see why that'd be. Okay. So,
Yeah, I know.
Can't.
Now it's tricky when the shoe is upon the other hand.
God, I know, and I usually wear them on my feet. So we got can't. So you can't afford this. You can't pay for it. This is still taking me to like, you can't keep this thing? Like a Repo Man situation? Or I can't afford this thing. I almost want to guess the word repo.
I promise you, by this point in the game so far, when I reveal what the word is, everyone listening is going to lose their mind.
Oh my God, it's like that. Okay. Can't. I guess, what should I guess here? Can't. You can't do it. And you can't afford it. You're poor. It says you said you're broke. Okay. Maybe it's like a word for zero, like zilch, or like one of those weird funky words. Like you're at zero. You're at the bottom, rock bottom for like the, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna try that because who knows? I'm gonna say. It's not this, but I'm going to say zilch.
I do like it. It's a good word, but it's not. It's not it.
I think I'm going to keep thinking that way, though, depending on your clue.
I like your train of thought, so I'm going to follow it up with rejected.
Okay, so this is okay. I was thinking about this earlier. Is it loan?
No. Okay. Sixth clue. How about
rejected?
I'm gonna.
Sounds like a loan. Can you read it again? Are you sure it's not loan?
It's not loan. I assure you.
Okay.
This is an interesting one. I want to try to do. Because there's a couple ways to take this.
I guess
How
it could...
about...
Well, I keep forgetting I'm waiting on a clue.
I mean, you can speculate. You can think to yourself while I'm thinking about it if you want. Because your clues thus far, just to reiterate, are broke, expensive, pay, can't, rejected. And I'm going to go with also... just to reiterate, I'm going to say money.
Back to money.
Yes.
Because at first I was thinking, right before you said money, I was saying credit. Maybe something to do with your credit. But now you're saying money.
Right. That might not be a good clue. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Money. I mean, this could be like... I don't know. I keep going. See, it's hard for me to get out of my head with the loan thing, especially after you said rejected. Rejected's really sticking with me. Money. Okay. Oh, maybe it's like I don't know, like a bounced check or something. But then again, if it were bounced, you have other ways to describe that. You could maybe you have to void a check. I need to get off of checks. Hold on. Let's move on. I'm just thinking, what all could you do with a check? You said money.
Right. Yeah.
but by money, do you mean like tangible money, or do you just mean the concept of money? I don't know. Because for me, that changes it. I guess, I mean,
Yeah.
basically you have no money. You're poor.
Expound on this.
You've been you've been rejected. You apply for a loan, it's rejected. You have no money. Or this could be. Hold on, this could be like a. No, I'll be honest with you. Rejection threw me off so bad. Like, I mean, I went somewhere with it, but now I'm just like, I don't know where else to go with it if it's not like rejected for a loan. I know you're just.
I told you this
away.
is impossible, but you know what's amazing? I'll reveal this in the end. Everyone's gonna lose their mind.
That's a Weston Hasty guarantee. I guess. I'm really working here to try and figure out something, but
work it, baby.
Work it real good.
Work it real good.
Dang, man. Money rejected. Ugh!
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like this isn't gonna be right. I'm just gonna say like account.
Okay.
I don't know where to go, but I'm gonna say account.
I feel like, to me, this feels like cheating, but I don't remember seeing a rule on this. Your seventh clue is verb.
Okay, so it's a verb. So what do you do that will cause you to be rejected because you have no money? You would apply for a loan. I can't get off the loan business, man. You would apply for a loan. You could inquire about a loan, but inquire is more generic. It doesn't have to be about money. In the first clue you said was broke.
Yeah. Your clues now are broke, expensive, pay, can't, rejected, money, verb.
That's still difficult.
It's impossible.
So it's a verb.
Oh my god! And I want to tell you so bad.
I know. Well, we're close. I mean, we're close there. I'm sure everyone's on the edge of their seats at this point, or asleep, one of the two.
Preferably the
what's opposite of
former.
ladder? Former.
Yeah. I couldn't think of it either for a second there. I almost said I hope the primer. I almost said the primer.
What are we painting?
I don't know.
I don't know. Leave me alone.
I don't know.
So, verb, rejected, money, broke.
Yep.
But, well, I guess it could be. I'm going to say the word apply.
No.
Okay.
But that was a verb, so I like it.
We got, what, 2 or 3 left? We're close.
That was 7 clues.
Okay.
I'm going to say... Okay. This will either help or just completely render you useless. Because this is the most, 5D chess clue. River.
So money flows, like cash flow. A river flows, surely to the sea. Some things are meant to be.
This probably won't help, but if your brain just eurekas, maybe, I don't know.
You said river.
Yeah.
I figured flow, like cash flow, but I guess that sounds like it's not it. So, river. Time flows like a river, but that's completely off. Great song if you don't know that, by the way. Time is flowing like a river.
Time keeps on slipping.
That's good too, but this one's much more somber
Very
and melancholy. Well, cash flow, that's like a compound. Like, that wouldn't count anyway.
Also, it's still a verb.
Oh, yeah, it's a verb. I see. As soon as you go on to the next clue, you forget. Verb. Okay. Okay, so river. So this, I'm going to, what else does a river do? Oh, wait.
Or,
Well,
yeah.
or not do. It could be dry.
I'll say, I wasn't going to say anything else. I was just going to say, or. You said, what can a river do? Or.
Right, the river can dry up. It can, what's another word for that?
That's not where I was going.
Oh, the river can flood.
Ask not what the river can do for you. Ask what you could do to the river.
You can swim in it.
This is
This is okay. Clearly your river thing didn't work for me.
I knew it wouldn't, but someone at home, please tell me it did.
I'm gonna say swim.
No. I got to get off the river because it didn't help.
Oh my gosh, this is rough, man. I did not expect this to go like this.
Oh yeah, me neither. We shouldn't have done hard. The mistakes were made. Apologies are required. So how about, what can I do for clue number 9? I know clue number 10, I'm just going to I'm going to, it's not one word, but it's not going to outright give it away. It's just going to blow your mind. How about,
Give me one. This is my final real shot here.
yeah, pretty much. But I don't, the thing is, this word is so, and one of my clues is already money. So it's like, it's just so money related that I'm out of, how about
Okay,
I go
well, you do something with money.
slightly,
Okay.
how about give?
Give, but
Yes.
you're broke. It can't be it can't be pay. Hold on. That's way too simple.
Well, pay was actually my third clue word.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Your
Yeah,
clues
you're right.
are broke, expensive, pay, can't, rejected, money, verb, river, give.
Wait a second. I'm not guessing. I'm just thinking out loud here. Is it?
Yeah.
You can spend.
Listen, if you can get it right now, that's 2 points you earn and you win.
I know. And I'm guessing it's going to be so stupid easy that it's difficult. That's kind of how you're making it sound like with the blowing your mind stuff. I'm not saying it yet, but I'm thinking spend. Because you could have been just kind of overcorrecting your clues for me to try and get me to think in the right direction of where the money is flowing. It's flowing out of you, not in you. And so you could have been doing that, which would make sense why it would be spend. And that's also a simple word, and I don't know how else you would describe spend with one word than how you already have. Broke's a weird first one, though.
Yeah.
But then again, that goes with my overcorrect theory. But I don't know if you did that.
There could have been better clues I could have used. There definitely could have been. Who knows?
I almost want to say spend. Flow or a river though. A river doesn't spend. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't want to waste
Don't
anyone's
apologize.
time.
Don't apologize. I did the same thing. Same thing.
I have no idea. I'm gonna say spend.
It's not spend. Although
Okay.
I wish I used spend as one of my clues because that was a good one. That was a really good one. Clue number 10, I'm cheating. It's not one word. I'm just going to outright tell you, you have said this word many times already during this entire thing while trying to guess what it is. I think I counted you said it 6 or so times.
Are you kidding me?
You said it out loud 6 or so times. The first time you said it was when I gave you the clue word pay, but you didn't guess it. It was just a sentence you said. You thought nothing of it. The word was one of them.
Is it a Ford? I'm not. I'm not saying anything. I'm just thinking, did I say afford there?
What word have you said that fits all these clues, but you didn't guess?
I mean, I can't remember now. I'm thinking, oh my God, now I have to go back.
That's why it's going to blow your mind. You said it so many times.
Oh my gosh. You can, I mean, I can't remember. I keep thinking of like a Ford or okay. What else have I been saying? You're poor. You can't buy it. You're. I don't remember, Weston. I really don't remember what I was saying. What letter did it start with? At this point, I'm at 0.
I can't tell you.
Look, you're gonna win this.
No. You have this. You can do it. You have this.
I mean, like I actually have it?
You have this. Just guess it.
I'm going to say a Ford.
It's a Ford.
Okay. Thank God I said it. Woo!
I'll say, I swear, if you say, is it a Ford? Is it a Ford? Could it be a Ford? And then just guess, I don't know, anything else. I was going to lose my mind. Yeah,
wow,
you started like going around. It's like,
Ford.
it's like you can't afford it, because this was when your third clue was pay. You're like, like you can't afford it. So I immediately made my fourth clue can't, to try to bring you back to can't afford.
I see what
you didn't get there. It's a Ford, and that's where this was like so out of left field. When I'm like river, like what can you do to a river? You can ford a river.
You can ford a river. Okay,
yeah. I couldn't do like Oregon Trail as a clue, because it's 2 words.
Right.
Ford a river.
I see. Yeah, that actually, I would have thought that might actually help if it was that, because that's what I think of when I think of that. But
God, that was wild.
That was
wild. So much
wild.
more frustrating than the medium difficulties we were doing.
And the words
last week.
were crop and a Ford. That's it. All right. Well,
good
maybe
God.
if we do this again, we should do a medium again.
Well, that earns us both 1 point, and we tie.
So now we have to break. Yeah, we have to do a tiebreaker sometime soon.
The eternal tie. Oh God!
Oh, good Lord!
Amazing.
Well, that was
done.
fun though.
I'm happy you literally said afford so many times. I never once said crop until the very end.
That's true. With crop,
Yeah.
I was thinking like, should I go with like my first thought was, I think I'm going to get them with the food one easier than like crop, like cutting, like you crop something out or something. So I don't know where I'd go with that.
I think if you started with started with corn like you did, and then you said farm like you did, but then just started listing crops, beans, wheat.
I guess you're right.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Just
'Cause
literally started listing crops.
Well, because I was thinking of phrasing. I was thinking like you sell crops. So that's why I went to like
Right.
sell and farm. Like I was trying to expand it, but I see what you mean too.
Which I don't think you did it wrong or anything. I don't know if I would have got it if you started listing stuff. I probably would have just started guessing vegetable, plant.
Right.
I don't know.
That's why I tried to go to generic, but I probably should have said it in hindsight. I probably should have said it like after I said like a vegetable, like corn or something.
It made sense eventually.
Widen that. But we got there. We got there both ways, hardly, but we did it.
If only just.
So, Weston, you write poetry.
Yeah.
Where can people find your poetry?
HastilyMadeDecision.com. I have a link to it as well on WestonHasty.com, if that's easier to remember. Yeah. Check me out.
So, WestonHasty.com.
Say hi
What
to me
else
on
is
Twitter. All this. Sorry, I'm coughing. All the usual things. I got my gaming channel, Magic Man Mo, on YouTube, and Twitter. You say hi to me at Weston Hasty. Just check out my website, WestonHasty.com. It's all there. Go check it out.
It's all
Read
there.
a poem.
Read a poem. Stay a while.
Read a poem. Alex, where do we
Put your
find
feet
you?
up. You can find me.
Put your feet down.
Put your feet down. Get your feet off my couch.
Put them on the ground.
You can find me at alexduquette.net. Everything I do can be found there.
Send them to the pound.
I do. Are we doing rhymes again?
I'm not messing around.
Because I can hear that sound. Speaking of sounds, you can listen to my album, Songs from Sangamon Street, available even on my website at alexduquette.net, and all the links are there as well. I also do medleys. usually TV show theme song medleys. So I take little bits of TV show theme songs, and I put a bunch of them together into one big song. It's super fun to go on nostalgia trip. So make sure you check out my stuff. As for Profoundish, you're listening.
Compound.
Oh my gosh. Boy, you sure are round. I don't know if you said round yet.
I was gonna say big booty girls. Make the world go round.
You can listen to Profoundish in all kinds of places. Currently, where you're listening is one place, but you can also do it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the places. While you're there, whatever your platform of choice is, make sure you give us some likes, some subscribes, some ratings. Leave a comment, depending on where you're at. We'd love to continue the conversation with you. You can also follow us on social media at Profoundish Pod on Twitter and Instagram. So check us out there, too. We actually
if you're lost, now you're
TikTok
found.
as well. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take you to the pound, you dog.
Ain't nothing but a hound.
Yeah, you're
Dog.
still going. You're still going. Well, on that note, is there any way to say goodbye with the ound rhyme, Mr. Poet?
Scream atop this mound.
Scream atop this mound that you love Profoundish and that we're leaving.
I suppose that's where we're bound.
Okay, that was good. No, stop when you're ahead. No more. Don't do it. I know you're thinking of a rhyme right now. You're trying. Don't do it.
I'm running out, man.
All right, we're out of here. We'll continue our rhymes next week.
Yeah, next week. I've run myself aground. Bye.
Bye.